What is up, guys? Team Overmensch here, and we are so sorry that we're getting this deck profile so late. But better late than never. This is the
Chronofang Tiger deck profile. I've been working on this deck for way too long. Way too long. It's a very technical, very complicated deck. I just finished building it, and then after 3 games, I decided to enter tournament. Went 4-1, lost in top 4 to one of Ubermensch's players, Snipes. So you know, it was a good game. It was good.
But top 4 is still good.
Yeah, definitely. I did not expect it to go that far, especially since I had like 3 games before entering the tournament with this deck, and most of my testing was just online. But anyway, let's get on with the deck profile. I'm gonna start off with the starter. It is a Gear Gunner Draco Kid. The reasoning is it's similar to how when Chronojet first started out, you would run this just in case you didn't ride Chronojet first, so you can get your Chronojet for the second ride. I don't really want to ride Chronofang first because I want more time to pick up Mudars and Parallel Barrel Dragons, and I'll show you those cards later. So I can use his on-ride ability, and he's only really useful for his GB2, which we'll get to in a moment. So anyway, if you don't know what he does, Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1, put him into the soul, search your deck for any grade 3, is it Gear Chronicle? Or is it just any grade 3? Yeah, any grade 3, reveal it to your opponent, and then you can add it to your hand. So, starting off with the 3s. Whoa, getting out there. 4 Chronofang Tiger. Alright, I got you, Chase. 4 Chrono Meme Tiger. Chrono Meme Tiger. Alright, our Chrono Kek Tiger. You know, maybe you want to refer to that. You know, the dankest grade 3 in the deck.
Remember, they follow the Chinese
Zodiac.
So basically, they split into 2, just like in Shaggy Chan Adventures.
Yeah. Funny enough, in the Zodiac, Dragon and Tiger are relatively equal, and they are not friends. They don't like each other. Beast Deity also does something similar, which is why I wanted to pick this up, because I'm a Nova player and I love Beast Deities. If you don't know what Chrono Kek Tiger does, I'm going to start off with his on-ride ability. On-ride, you can choose a card from your hand, throw it into the bind zone. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, make them go down by 2 grades. Which forces a shuffle, you know, makes their 0s a -2, makes their 1s a -1, and then the 2s pull out 0s, etc. It's actually really good. You mostly do it because you want to combo with some other cards in the deck that I will show off later. And then his GB2 is the reason why I prefer him over Chronojet. Now, I will say the Chronojet deck is the better deck. Next stage is just a stronger finisher, it's fine. But his GB2 says I can stride no matter what.
Yeah.
Generation Break 2, I can choose a card from my hand, throw it, use it to pay the cost for stride, and it gets grade +3. And then I put that card in the bind zone. It also sets up for my finisher, which I'll show later. So, striding's the best mechanic in the goddamn game. So, like, why wouldn't you want to play a deck that lets you stride all the time?
Legion?
Well, okay. Legion's the worst mechanic in the game. So, you know, if you want to do that, it's fine. As the other grade 3, the one that I actually want to ride is Gear Eagle. He's my first ride. The reasoning behind it is if my opponent decides to play more aggressive and they have like a huge field, I can go into Chronos Command. Potentially force them to either guard it or lose their board, and I can use his on-stride ability when if you stride a Chronos Command, you can put 1 card on your field to the bottom of your deck, check the top 10 for 2 time leap cards. So you lose 1 card on your field, add 2 cards to your hand, potentially, which is really good. He also has a rear guard ability. If you have a Chronos Command Vanguard, he gets on-hit time leap. He also has the time leap ability, so you can search him out from the top 10. I run him at 3 while I run Chronofang at 4. Is my starter could die. It's just a fact. It could get spun away, a bunch of other stuff. So I want to be able to ride Chronofang at a certain point in the game. Yeah. But I do want to ride this card first, overall. So, what's his name? It's Classic Gun Dragon. Kekik Gun Dragon. I don't know why no one ever runs this card.
I haven't even heard of this card.
It's from the trial deck, I believe. I think it's from the. Let me just say it right here. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the second trial deck. Skill: when he's placed on Rearguard or Vanguard, Generation Break 1, choose one of your units. It gets this ability: Time Leap, Vanguard, Rearguard. If this unit hits, you may choose one of your Rearguards and Time Leap it.
Alright.
So he's a one-of because I can be time leap into him and then can potentially get more time leaps. He can give himself the ability, he can give your Vanguard the ability, he can give a rear guard ability. It's just really good. I would like to see this more in Chrono Jet decks. I think that would make more sense, to be honest, since they have history makers and they tend to go up while they're attacking a lot more. I run it. It's actually won me a couple of games today. He's actually one of my favorite cards in Gear Chronicle. And then I run the Mega Blaster because he Soul Charges a card. The deck does revolve around Soul Blasting. He does have another ability when he's placed. You can Soul Blast 1. He becomes a grade 0. He didn't really do much.
More time than
Yeah, but not as much as you would think. I didn't use him that much. There are plays with him. I just didn't really get to use him that much. He is a one-of, so it's not really meant to be used that often. As for the grade 2s, for Mudar. What is it, Steam Knight Mudar? Steam Knight Mudar. The best grade 2 in Gear Chronicle, in my personal opinion. Next to maybe History Maker, although I like him more. His ability, Generation Break 1, on hit, you can throw him into the bind zone, Soul Charge 1, and Time Leap a card. His other ability is if he's in the bind zone, you can Soul Blast 1, call him out, and he gets 2k. So he's your main grade 2, that's why he's the 4-of. You want to put him in the bind zone with Chronofang's skill. Either his Generation Break 2 or his On Ride, just because he can come back and he's your main attacker. He can make up some really cool columns with the grade 1 version of him, I guess you could say. Making a 22k column that people are more inclined to guard because of on hits. I like on hit pressure. That's just my personal preference, so I like to run at least like on hit pressure cards in all my decks. Next, grade 2, the guy everyone hates.
I like him. He's actually not a bad unit. I'm like, yeah, he's on placement, but
he's
again,
on placement from hand. On placement from hand.
Yes, but that's fine.
He's good. He's good. The only like
because if he was just on placement period, could you imagine him with like what's his face History Maker?
Yeah.
It would be broken. You just call him and you just time leap to 0 and you get like
you gotta call him. No, that's what he's there for. He goes, everyone runs the stand trigger. Whether you run it as a 2-of or anyone, he's basically here to be like that stand trigger makes a 16k column and you draw cards, and you put a trigger back in the deck. That's what he does. He also puts these guys in his grade 1 version into the bind zone, which is the important thing of this deck. So you can use them for later plays. You can even use them for that turn. I run him over History Maker. I don't really like History Maker because while he doesn't need to be boosted for his ability, he only swings for 9, so you want to have a booster anyway. So it's just kind of like, The multi-attack, I tried it. It didn't really work too well, in my personal opinion. While this just basically be like, here, set up a column, set up an attacker, do this, and then you have an interceptor because he's an on-call, he doesn't do anything. Kagura retire, Denial Griffin this card. Oh well. What did I lose? So I like him. I didn't like him when he came out. He's definitely not worth the triple rare.
That's why he's a 50-cent triple.
No, he's $2.
Oh my god.
What, $2? Man.
6 more quarters.
6. Yo, with $2 you could buy 2 soda. You could buy 1 soda and have 50 cents in your pocket. The next grade 2 upstream. Generation Break 1, when he attacks, he swings for 13, then he goes back into the deck and you get a grade 1. Calls out at rest. I mostly have him because he swings for 13. I don't run a lot of, I should add more grade 1 targets for him to work, but the swinging for 13 is enough for me. That's really it, just a unit that attacks. He also pulls out Melons. I do run 6 stands in the deck, so I can go swing, pull out Melon, put it in the front row, and then if I hit a stand trigger, I can stand Melon, swing for 16. All that. That's the biggest play I do with it. And then another grade 1 that I'll show you later. As for secret techs, my 2-of, what's his name? Drain Valve Dragon. Do people use this? They don't use this in Chrono Jet, right? No, this is I think this is just a Chronofang card. Skill, Generation Break 1, when he's placed on rear guard circle, you may Soul Blast 1, choose a unit, that unit and this unit get 2k. Then if he was placed not from your hand, basically if you time leaped into him, he gets himself another 2k. So he's a 13k attacker. With a 7k booster, if you target the booster, it's a 21k column. You know, so that's really good. He comes in clutch, especially when you're trying to chase like Gabriel, who gets up in power. He goes, bam, make the other side a little bigger, and then make himself big enough so you can always try to catch up to Gabriel. Multi-attack decks like Time Leap tend to have problems with defensive decks like Gabriel or Nocio, but it's mostly Gabriel. On to the great ones. 2 Stride Enablers. You don't need to stride that often because the Generation Break 2 is amazing. With G guards, even if you don't like stride into like a G flipper, you're most likely gonna get Generation Break 2, so you don't have to worry too much about it. You still need it because you need to stride first. If you don't stride, I lost in top 4 because I couldn't stride at one point, and I couldn't stride as soon as I could, and then so I was like, okay. So you want to be able to stride. So two's enough. You don't need that much. I do run 9-3s, so I see them relatively often. 4 Sentinels, 1 Quintet Wall. Quintet Wall gets stuff in the bind zone and puts cards back into the deck. That's why you run it. Also, one-hand guard is very, very helpful in this meta, especially with like G guards as one-hand guards. Quintet Wall, it's slowly coming back in my opinion. 3 perfect guards. I don't run the unflip because I don't feel like spending money. It's a card game. I don't need to spend that much money. You don't need the unflips. You could run it if you want. That's okay with me. These don't guard rear guards, I believe. When the students place a value, do you choose one of your? Yeah, no, you can guard rear guards.
No, it's not bad.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Man, I love this guy. When I saw this guy, I was like, well, time to build Chronofang. Parallel Barrel Dragon skill, Generation Break 1, Bind Zone. You can rest the unit, call it out, and he gets plus 4k. He's an 11k booster, 11k attacker, 11k anything.
11k friend.
I almost want to put him as a 4 of, but he's fine at 3. He's just there to combo with Mudar, Chronofang, Bind Time, all that stuff. He can be an attacker, he can be a booster. He's a very versatile unit, which Gear Chronicle, I'll say, does that very well. They do have a pretty good amount of versatile units if you're creative enough to use them.
For your imagination.
You can use this with the 8K, the guy that's on call, and then you have a 19K column?
Yep.
Pretty cool. I'm gonna lie. Melums. This card's dangerous. This card's more dangerous than I gave it credit for. I hated this card when she came out. I was like, everyone likes it. I only like the fact that it swings for 11. But when she came out, everyone always grabbed the Chrono Jet crit, and I was like, oh, you guys are very dependent on next stage.
And now the stand trigger.
You mean, what's his name? The other starter. TikTok. Japan runs for TikTok, I believe.
Yeah.
Because of
They're
Melon.
greedy.
Oh, infinitely greedy. I run 1 extra TikTok. You only need 1. If you don't know what she does, she swings for 11, Generation Break 1, goes back into the deck, and you can grab a grade 0, call it out.
She's like the grade 2.
She's like upstream, but she goes to 0s instead of 1s. She's an easy time leap target because you do tend to want to time leap the stand trigger just because it goes back into the deck. Not really the draw, because Chronofang doesn't need that much hand advantage because since you don't need to worry about grade 3s to stride, or a grade 2 or grade 1 or stride enable, all that, you can guard if anything, and your plays mostly come from the bind zone. So as long as those cards are safe, you can always get them back, and you always have a play with this deck, which is what I like about it a lot. I came back from a lot of games. I was able to stall out Angel Feather. I was able to beat Kagero. Like the deck can change its tempo to whatever matchup it is. It's really crazy. I believe the last one is a Danish, just because I didn't like Gigi. She ate the soul. I didn't want to mess with that because a lot of cards in this deck eat soul. I don't really have too much of a soul problem now, but I don't want to risk it. You don't need the draw, like I said. Gigi is definitely a lot better in Chrono Jet decks. Chrono Jet actually needs a lot of combo pieces.
Yeah, because he doesn't even need the soul anyways.
He doesn't use it. And Chrono Jet goes into the soul, so it's like... Sorry. Drink water. Danish, Generation Break 1, when she's placed on rearguard circle, you can choose one of your opponent's rearguards, put it at the bottom of the deck. They can search for a grade lower than that. I used it a lot to fuck with Broken Heart. Because my opponent kept calling it out, and I was like, get away from me. Time leap back into this. Go away. Just go away. Just go away. So she can target like those problem cards like Broken Heart. Yeah, my opponent kept, you know, drawing back into them because it was back in the deck, but the fact that you can get rid of it on your offensive turn just made Gabriel less threatening. What other cards would this help like get rid of? Nahalem, yeah. So they don't have Nahalem for their plays.
Knight of Twin Swords, Blaster Blade,
Lou, Barkle. Well, Barkle could just go into Flogo, but that's a crit out of the deck, so whatever.
Tidal Assault.
No, Tidal Assault.
Magnum Assault.
Yeah. So, you know, you got messing with your opponent's board, even if it's like very little, can is nice. You gotta be careful because there's some decks that will trip you up. Like I used it against Nubatama. I play Nubatama, so I actually knew this was happening. What was this happening? Okay, I think that's part of there. I used Danish to spin one of their grade 1s, and they called out the stand trigger to give Shiranui an extra 3k and draw a card because I happen to have more cards in hand. I knew that was a possibility. I just wanted to see if they would do it.
Nothing.
I'm gonna order later. Yeah. So that's about it. Moving on to the triggers. I'm gonna just go by quickly because I don't care about triggers. That's your preference.
Yeah.
The stand trigger. What is it?
GB1.
Water. GB1 when he's entered the bind zone from rearguard circle. You can't ride Chronofang and throw him to bind zone. And
that would be amazing.
Yes, it would. You know, if he gets bound from your hand, you know, for any reason. So when he goes from rearguard to the bind zone, you can put it at the bottom of your deck, draw 2 cards, put one back to the bottom of the deck, and shuffle. That shuffle really breaks this card. Like I will not lie. Like that, I checked a bunch of triggers in this game, and I was like, well, like I've been just putting triggers back with Uru, and this guy. So it's like I'm not really surprised. The draws, it gets you more pieces. That's all I look at it. I don't really care about drawing cards. 2 Gear Cats. No one runs this card anymore. Don't know why. If you don't know what it does, when a card is spun, you can put it back in the deck and give 10k to any unit or rearguard. Any unit.
Any unit.
Vanguard. It is once per turn, so if it sees something get spun, you have to use the ability, or you can't use it again. Fair warning. If he also works with the other G guard that's the main reason I have it in the deck. I also like stand triggers. I like stand triggers. 4 crits. I'm not running more than 4 crits until we get crits with effects. 4 heals because G guards. Uru because pretty girl.
She's the only heal trigger.
No, there's another one.
That thing's fake.
You're right. 2 draws. The draws help. It goes into the soul, so it fixes up your soul, gives power. You can time leap it.
And it's always nice for defensive reasons.
Yeah. It's not if you damage a draw, you like win the game. TikTok. Generation Break 1, when one of your other units attacks, you can put this into the soul, time leap that unit. Basically, it's for the upstream and the melon plays, all that stuff. To get more attacks, the multi-attack option is nice. Again, he's a 1-of, you don't really need him, but you can always pull him out with melons.
And remember, in best out of 3 forms, you can always change your starter.
Yeah, exactly. Best. I like best of 1 personally. That's just me. Now I'm gonna get hated by like half the Vanguard community. Oh well. 3 warp drive, would run 4. Don't have a 4th one. It's fine at 3. I don't think you need it. I'm still fumbling around with the G zone because it's very, very responsive to your opponent. You kind of play to how your opponent's playing and responding to their actions. You focus really hard on countering them, which is weird because Chronofang's lore is he's reckless as hell and like almost gets like he could almost die by some of the stuff that he does. Anyway, warp drive. I would say is the best striding gear chronicle that anyone can use.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna argue next stage. He's a restander. Restanders with the strongest effects in the game, and it's a thing that gets past the perfect guard. So like so if you don't know what he does, when act, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, flip a card in your G zone. For every face of warp drive dragon in your G zone, you can time leap that many cards. Then you can spin a card equal to the grade of the amount of cards you time leap. So if I time leap 2 cards, I spin a grade 2 or less. Time leap 1 card, grade 1 or less, so on and so forth. He's really good to fix your board. That's what I really like about time leap, main phase time leap, like with clock fencers and time breaks, is the fact that you can fix your board. So you can go from shit to amazing. You know, it's like playing Royal Paladins, but like not as free. Not as free. Moving on. Chronos Command, I do stride into him because I have Gear Eagle. The on-hit pressure is nice if my opponent's a dick and wants to punch me 30 million times with a bunch of rear guards. I can just go protect it. Or spin your board. It's fine. I also mostly run him for his evolution. But,
revolution?
My boy. I was hoping you'd get it, right? If you don't know what he does, he has the Chronos Command name, so it works for Gear Eagle. When he hits, Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, spin your opponent's board. Again, you don't need to worry too much about your hand because you can always stride. So every card in your hand can be blocked. You can time leap the cards that you need, you can grab them from your bind zone, and you can... you're playing Pale Moon. I guess to put a better perspective. Revolution's the fucking MVP, let me tell you. This guy changed the game. There were so many times that I was just like, oh man, they have a bunch of cards in their hand. But they have 5 cards they have 4 cards on the field? Revolution? Let's get those cards. You can survive this turn, that's fine. You can put those cards down though. So you can try to attack me and then I'll kill you with the boy. But anyway, if you don't know what he does on placement when you stride into him, Counterblast 1, flip a copy of himself. You spin both players' board. However, for every face-up Chronos Command in your G zone, you get to keep 2 of your rear guards. It combos really well with Gear Eagle because Gear Eagle puts one of the cards back and lets you grab 2 time leap cards. So you don't need to lose. You don't need to worry about losing your cards. Your Gear Chronicle, so your field wasn't really that there. To be honest, you don't lose too much. Messes with Angel Feather really hard by getting rid of those broken hearts. Messes with Kagero. It messes with Blaze, because they need more rear guards than you. So if you get rid of their rear guards, then they have to play more. That's interesting. That's another stuff. It's just really good. It does have the downside of playing against Murakumo, Dubatama, but not too much Murakumo. Fuck Shadows. I don't want to talk about Shadow Paladins. What? Tachi's. No, well, sort of.
At the end of the turn, you can have like 2 units.
It's the same thing as Shadows. Except Shadows actually have useless units on their board. The final stride, I wish I had him SP. Bind Time Dragon. If you don't know what he does, Generation Break 2, when he attacks, Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your rear guards or more, put them into the bind zone. You spin as many cards on your opponent's board as cards face up in the bind zone. Your opponent chooses the rear guards that do this. That's important because I remember I had 2 stand triggers on and I tossed them there, went, you lose 2 rear guards, and then drew my cards, the stand triggers, and shuffled my deck and had more triggers back in my deck. He also has another ability. If you have a Gear Beast Heart, which Chronofang and Gear Eagle are, you unflip 2 and soul charge 2. You get 1 extra soul out of it. So I end up with a pretty hefty soul after using this guy. He is your finisher because he does get 10k in a crit. So you want to save that 36 is pretty hefty. Let me tell you.
He is.
Like,
and with a booster 41, like crap.
Like, I don't know why people don't or Shadows kind of went away when G guards came out because they were like, oh, Phantom Blaster Dragon can get G guarded, but 36 is still really big to with even a G guard.
Yeah.
He's not as free as next stage because you're not getting 5 checks and 2 Vanguard attacks. So you do have to be careful with him. If you use up all 4 recklessly, you're gonna get kicked. This happened against Angels, but Angels don't really have a finisher, so I was able to stall out the game until I got to the secret finisher. We're going on to him right now. Fate Rider. He's honestly literally there when I'm like, sure, I'll get a big board for no reason. If you don't remember what he does, once per turn, right? Yeah, once per turn. Act. Put a card from your field to the bottom of your deck. You upgrade that card. 1 unit. Then you, for every face-up card in your G zone, you give units on your field 3k power. Any unit. So once you hit, I have a lot of G flippers. Once you hit like 6, your entire field is gonna get plus 3k, which the numbers get ridiculously huge with, like, if you don't remember, the drain valve being a 13k upstream swinging for 13k. He won me a couple of games. Not gonna lie, he's actually coming really clutch. He also doesn't really have a cost outside of you wanting to attack, which you need to do in the game anyway. So he's
free.
He was my favorite. Now my favorite is Warp Drive, and then it's Bind Time. Now it's this guy, and this guy's third. Metallica Phoenix would be up there, but he decided to be a trader and just stay with Chrono Jet. So screw him.
Always with Chrono Jet.
Yeah, screw him. Should have been generic. And then 5 G guards because I didn't really know what else to do. I ran Epoch Maker at one point.
But you can only run up to 4 G guards.
No. You can run 5.
You can run 5, but you can only use up to 4.
Yeah. It's just when I G assist.
Oh.
When I G assist. So I always have my stride object. Gear Chronicle. This is the most important thing in Gear Chronicle.
Yeah, that's true.
So Uru, the best G guard in the game in my opinion. Skill, when you G-guard with her, you can put a trigger and a non-trigger unit to the bottom of your deck.
Denial Griffin's up there.
Denial Griffin's second. He does kick a counterblast. This one's free. This one is literally free. It puts a heal back in the deck. Alright, so, I'll definitely say Denial Griffin's second, though. So you put 2 cards to the bottom of your deck. If you do, she gets plus 5k shield, so she basically makes you 31. This card, and don't use her that much, to be honest, only when I really need the defense or to set up. Her skill, what's her name? I'm not gonna say her name. When you G-guard with her, you choose a unit on your field, put it to the bottom of your deck, search for a grade 0, call it out. So you can grab your TikToks, the stand trigger that can be time leaped, the gear cat. And then she gets plus 10k shield, so it makes you 36. So I did run a screw. I think I wanted to put a screw at one point because in case I didn't have the field, because
Screw's never bad.
no, I don't really like him too much. It's not a bad card, but he's whatever. But that's pretty much the G guards. So yeah, it's Chronofang. It's pretty different from actual Chronofang builds. But anyway, later guys.
Alright, Team Movements, sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed it.